The alarm bells rang through the massive space station called Harmony's Edge. Captain Tejo ran down the long metal hallway, his boots making loud sounds on the floor. He had never heard these alarms before. In his 20 years of service, nothing like this had ever happened. The Galactic Council had built Harmony's Edge 300 years ago. It was the biggest space station anyone had ever seen. 47 different alien species lived and worked there together. They made rules for the galaxy and kept peace between all the different worlds. Tejo reached the main meeting room. The doors opened with a soft sound. Inside, beings from many different worlds sat around a huge round table. Some looked like tall birds with blue feathers. Others had skin like rocks and 4 arms. Some had big eyes and moved like fish swimming through the air. Admiral Sora stood at the front of the room. She was from the same world as Tejo, but she looked worried. Her green uniform had many badges on it. She had kept peace in the galaxy for 50 years. "Friends," Sora said in a loud voice, "we have a big problem. Captain Tejo has found something strange in space, something we have never seen before." All the aliens turned to look at Tejo. He felt nervous. He pulled out a small device and pressed a button. A big picture appeared in the air above the table. It showed the dark space between the stars. "3 days ago, my ship was checking the outer edge of our space," Tejo said. "Our machines found something moving toward us. At first, we thought it was a small rock. But when we looked closer, we saw this." He pressed another button. The picture changed. Now it showed a shape in space. It was hard to see clearly, but it looked like a ship. A very, very big ship. The aliens around the table made different sounds. Some gasped. Others made clicking noises. A few started talking fast in their own languages. "How big is it?" asked Ambassador Cole Ron. He had 4 eyes and skin that looked like metal. His people were known for building good ships. Tejo looked down at his notes. "Our best guess is that it's about 50 miles long and 20 miles wide, but we're not sure. It's still very far away." The room became very quiet. Even Sora looked shocked. The biggest ship the council had was only 5 miles long. This unknown ship was 10 times bigger. "What does it want?" asked Dr. Velnox. She had purple skin and moved her 6 arms when she talked. "Is it coming to attack us?" "We don't know," Tejo said. "We tried to talk to it many times. We sent messages in every language we know. But it doesn't answer. It just keeps moving toward our space." Sora walked around the table. She looked at each council member. "Friends, in 300 years we have never seen anything like this. We don't know what kind of beings built this ship. We don't know why they're coming here, but we must be ready." "Maybe they're peaceful," said Ambassador Chan Wu. He was the best at talking to new species. He had helped make peace between enemies many times. "We should try to talk to them again." "Or maybe they want to fight," said General Tormek. His people looked like big lizards with sharp teeth. "We should get our warships ready." Sora held up her hand. "We will not prepare for war first. The Council has always tried peace before fighting. We will send our best diplomat to meet this unknown ship." She turned to Chan Wu. "Will you go? You know how to talk to new species better than anyone." Chan Wu stood up. He was not very tall, but everyone respected him. "Yes, I will go, but I want to take a small ship. If these beings are peaceful, a big warship might scare them." "Good idea," Sora said. "Take the Peaceful Dawn. It's fast and has good communication equipment, but also take some protection, just in case." Dr. Velnox raised 2 of her arms. "Admiral, I want to study the readings from Captain Tejo's ship. The energy coming from this unknown vessel is very strange. It doesn't match any technology we know." She moved to the front of the room and touched the control panel. New pictures appeared in the air. They showed lines and numbers that most people couldn't understand, but Dr. Velnox was the smartest scientist in the council. "Look at this," she said, pointing at the pictures. "The energy signature is completely different from anything we've seen. Their engines don't work like ours. And look at this reading here. The metal of their ship gives off a strange glow. We've never seen metal like this before." Captain Tejo looked at the numbers. "Could they be from very far away? Maybe from outside our galaxy?" "Maybe," Dr. Velnox said. "But if they came from another galaxy, how did they travel so far? It would take millions of years with any technology we know. The room became quiet again. Everyone was thinking about this mystery. A ship bigger than anything they had ever built, made of metal they didn't understand, with engines that worked in ways they couldn't explain. Ambassador Colron spoke up. What if they're not friendly? What if this big ship is full of weapons? One ship that size could destroy many of our worlds. That's why we must talk to them, Chanwu said. If they wanted to attack us, they probably would have done it already. They could have destroyed Captain Taeho's ship easily. But they didn't. Sora nodded. Chanwu is right. We will try to make contact, but we will also be ready to defend ourselves if needed. She turned to General Tormek. Get the defense fleet ready, but keep them far away. We don't want to look like we're preparing for war. General Tormek nodded his big lizard head. I will have 50 ships ready to move quickly if needed. But they will stay hidden. Chanwu walked to the big window that looked out into space. Millions of stars shined in the darkness. Somewhere out there, the unknown ship was coming closer. Do we leave? He asked. As soon as possible, Sora said. Every hour we wait, that ship gets closer to our worlds. We need to know what they want before they reach our populated systems. Dr. Velnox was still looking at the strange readings. Ambassador Chanwu, when you meet these beings, try to learn about their technology. The energy patterns don't make sense. It's like they found a completely different way to travel through space. I will try, Chanwu said. But first, I just hope they want to talk. The meeting ended, and everyone left to prepare. Captain Taeho went back to his ship to keep watching the unknown vessel. Dr. Velnox went to her laboratory to study the strange readings. General Tormek went to prepare the defense fleet. Chanwu went to the Peaceful Dawn, his diplomatic ship. It was small and white, with no weapons except for basic shields. It had the best communication equipment the Council could build. If anyone could talk to these unknown beings, it was him. As his ship left Harmony's edge, Chanwu looked back at the massive space station. It had been the center of galactic peace for 3 centuries. Now, everything might change because of one mysterious ship. He pointed his ship toward the unknown vessel and began the long journey to first contact. Behind him, the entire galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen when 2 civilizations met for the first time. The future of 47 worlds now depended on this one conversation. Chanwu's ship moved through the dark space for 2 days. The unknown vessel grew bigger and bigger on his screens. At first, it looked like a gray dot. Then it became a shape. Finally, he could see what it really was, and his mouth fell open in shock. The ship was not just big. It was like a floating city. Chanwu could see gardens through clear windows in the hull. There were buildings inside the ship with lights in the windows like people lived there. He saw what looked like parks with trees and lakes. The ship had different sections like neighborhoods in a city. This is impossible, he said to himself. How can a ship be so big and still fly through space? His communication officer, Lieutenant Dayun, was trying to contact the ship. She had been sending messages for hours in every language the Council knew. Finally, a voice came through the speakers. Unknown vessel. This is Commander Ji-won of the exploration ship New Earth. We see you approaching. Please identify yourself. Chanwu felt excited and nervous. The voice spoke in a language he had never heard before, but his translation machine was working. The being could talk. This is Ambassador Chanwu of the Galactic Council, he said, into his microphone. We come in peace. We want to welcome you to our space and learn about your people. There was a long pause. Then the voice came back. Galactic Council? We have never heard of such a thing. We are humans from the planet Earth. Are you saying there are other space-traveling species in this galaxy? Chanwu was confused. How could they not know about the Council? How could they travel in space without knowing about the 47 species that lived in the galaxy? Yes, Chanwu said carefully. There are many species in this galaxy. We have worked together for hundreds of years. May we come aboard your ship? We would like to meet face to face. Another pause. Then Commander Ji-won said, You may dock with our ship. We are also curious about you. Follow the lights we will show you. Bright blue lights appeared on the side of the massive ship. They made a path to what looked like a docking area. Chan Wu followed the lights, still amazed by the size of the human ship. The docking bay was bigger than most buildings on his home world. Chan Wu's ship looked tiny inside it. When he stepped out of his ship, he was wearing a special suit in case the air was not safe to breathe. A door opened and beings walked toward him. They looked similar to his own species, but different. They walked on 2 legs and had 2 arms. Their skin was not green like his, but a brown color. They had hair on their heads and small eyes. One of them, a female, stepped forward. "I am Commander Ji-won," she said. "Welcome to our ship. You can remove your protective suit. Our air is safe for most carbon-based life forms." Chan Wu was surprised. How did she know what kind of air he needed? He slowly removed his helmet. The air smelled clean and fresh, like a garden after rain. "Thank you," he said. "I am Ambassador Chan Wu. I represent the Galactic Council. We did not know humans existed." Ji-won smiled. It was a strange expression, but somehow Chan Wu understood it meant she was happy. "We did not know anyone else existed either. We have been exploring space for 50 years, but we have never met other intelligent life." She led him through the ship. Chan Wu could not believe what he saw. There were real trees growing inside the ship. Streams of water flowed through parks. People walked along paths and children played in open areas. It was like a piece of a planet floating in space. "How many people live on this ship?" Chan Wu asked. "About 50,000, Ji-won said. "This is one of our exploration vessels. We have families here, scientists, engineers, teachers, everything needed for a complete community." 50,000? Chan Wu was shocked. The biggest council ship carried only 2,000 people, and that was very crowded. They entered a large room with windows that looked out into space. Other humans were there, waiting to meet him. Ji-won introduced them one by one. "This is Dr. Da-un, our chief science officer. This is Captain Wu Jin, who commands our defense systems. And this is Engineer Min Ji, who helps maintain our ship." Chan Wu greeted each of them. Dr. Da-un was very excited to meet him. She asked many questions about his species and his technology. "How do you travel faster than light?" she asked. "We have been trying to improve our engines for years." Chan Wu explained about quantum jump drives, the technology all council species used. But when Dr. Da-un showed him the human engines, he was amazed. The engine room was huge, with machines that hummed softly. Engineer Min Ji explained how they worked. "We use fusion reactors that burn hydrogen from space," she said. "But we also have something special. We can fold space itself to move faster." Fold space. Chan Wu had never heard of such a thing. "How is that possible?" "We learned how to bend the fabric of reality," Min Ji said simply. "It took us many years to figure out how to do it safely." Captain Wu Jin showed him the ship's defensive systems. "We don't have weapons like you might expect," he said. "We learned long ago that weapons often cause more problems than they solve. Instead, we have shields that can stop almost any attack." He showed Chan Wu a demonstration. A small asteroid was floating near the ship. Wu Jin activated the shields. A blue energy field surrounded the asteroid and gently moved it away from the ship. "The field doesn't destroy," Wu Jin explained. "It just redirects dangerous things away from us. We have never needed to hurt anyone to protect ourselves." Chan Wu was beginning to understand that humans were very different from other species. Most species in the council had developed weapons first, then learned to cooperate. Humans seemed to have learned cooperation first. Commander Ji-won took him to see the manufacturing areas of the ship. Robots and humans worked together to build everything the ship needed. They could make food, clothes, tools, and even parts for the ship itself. "We don't need to depend on other worlds," Ji-won explained. "Our ships are completely self-sufficient. We can travel for hundreds of years without stopping." "But why do you travel?" Chan Wu asked. "What are you looking for?" Ji-won looked out at the stars. "Knowledge. We want to learn about the universe. We want to find new worlds where life can grow. We want to discover beautiful things and understand how everything works." She paused, then added, "We also want to find other intelligent life. We have been alone for so long. Finding you and your council is the most exciting thing that has ever happened to us." Dr. Da-un brought charts and pictures to show Chan Wu. We have mapped thousands of star systems, she said. We have found 17 worlds where life could grow well. We have started small colonies on 7 of them. You have colonies? Chan Wu was surprised again. How many ships like this do you have? 43 exploration ships, Ji-won said, plus hundreds of smaller vessels for research and transportation. Earth builds about 5 new exploration ships every year. Chan Wu felt dizzy. Humans had more ships than some entire species in the Council, and they had built them all without help from anyone. We must tell the Council about this, he said. They will want to meet all of your people. But first I need to understand. How did humans learn to travel in space so quickly? Most species take thousands of years to develop this technology. Dr. Do-eun and the others looked at each other. Finally, Ji-won spoke. We nearly destroyed ourselves, she said quietly. About 200 years ago, humans were fighting wars all over Earth. We had weapons that could destroy our whole planet. Many people thought we would not survive. She walked to the window and looked at the stars. But instead of destroying ourselves, we learned to work together. We realized that cooperation made us stronger than fighting. Once we stopped wasting energy on wars, we could use all our effort to explore and learn. We focused all our intelligence on peaceful goals, Dr. Do-eun added. We cured diseases, cleaned our environment, and reached for the stars. When you don't spend resources on weapons, you can spend them on amazing things. Chan Wu understood. Now why humans were so advanced? They had learned the most important lesson in the universe. Working together was better than fighting. As his visit continued, he learned more incredible things. Humans had solved energy problems that the Council still struggled with. They had medicine that could heal injuries in hours instead of weeks. They had ways to grow food that never ran out. But the most amazing thing was their attitude. Every human he met was curious, friendly, and excited to learn about other species. They asked questions about the Council, about different worlds, about how other species lived. When it was time to leave, Commander Ji-won gave him a gift. It was a small device that contained all the scientific knowledge humans had gathered in their travels. Share this with your Council, she said. We want to be friends with all intelligent life. Perhaps we can learn from each other. As Chan Wu's ship moved away from the human vessel, he looked back at the massive city floating in space. Everything had changed. The galaxy was no longer the same place it had been just a few days ago. He activated his communication system to contact Admiral Sora. She needed to know what he had discovered. The Council needed to prepare for something that had never happened before. Meeting a species that was more advanced than they were, but still completely peaceful. The conversation that would change galactic history was about to begin. The Council meeting room had never been so full. Representatives from all 47 species crowded around the big table. Some stood along the walls because there were not enough seats. Everyone wanted to hear about the humans. Admiral Sora stood at the front of the room, but today she was not the most important person there. Next to her stood 5 humans who had come from their ship. They looked calm and friendly, even though hundreds of alien eyes were watching them. Admiral Hae-jin was the leader of the human group. She was tall with gray hair and kind eyes. She wore a simple blue uniform with no weapons or symbols of war. Next to her stood Dr. Kyung-ho, a scientist with many books and devices. Engineer Minji had come to show human technology. Captain Dong-soo represented their space forces, though he also carried no weapons. The last human was different from the others. Dr. Soo-jin was a medical doctor who had volunteered to come because she wanted to help other species with their health problems. Friends of the Council, Admiral Sora began. Today we make history. For the first time in 300 years, we welcome a new species to our galaxy. But these humans are not like other species we have met. They are very different. She turned to Admiral Hae-jin. Please tell us about your people. Hae-jin stepped forward. Her voice was clear and strong, but not threatening. Thank you for welcoming us. We are honored to meet so many different forms of intelligent life. On Earth, we dreamed that other thinking beings might exist, but we never imagined there were. So many, she gestured to her team. We come not as conquerors or traders, but as learners. Our greatest joy is discovering new knowledge and sharing what we have learned. Ambassador Kolran, the four-eyed alien, spoke up. We have heard about your ships. They are very large. Are they military vessels? Captain Dong-Su answered this. Question. Our ships carry no weapons of attack. They are exploration vessels designed to carry complete communities to new worlds. We believe that families and children should be part of exploration, not left behind. No weapons? General Tormek, the lizard-like alien, sounded suspicious. How do you protect yourselves from enemies? We have defensive systems, Dong-Su explained. But they are designed to protect, not to harm. We learned long ago that violence usually creates more violence. It is better to avoid fights than to win them. Dr. Velnox, the purple scientist with 6 arms, was very interested in human technology. Ambassador Chanwu showed us readings from your ship. Your energy systems are very advanced. How did you develop such technology? Dr. Kyung-ho smiled and pulled out a small device. May I demonstrate something? He asked. Admiral Sora nodded. Dr. Kyung-ho placed the device on the table. It was about the size of a book, but it began to glow softly. This is a quantum matter assembler, he said. It can create any simple object by arranging atoms in the right pattern. He touched the device. Slowly, a beautiful flower appeared on the table. It looked real, with soft petals and a sweet smell. But it had been created from nothing. The aliens around the table made sounds of amazement. Some leaned forward to get a better look. Others talked excitedly in their own languages. The atoms came from the air in this room, Dr. Kyung-ho explained. We took carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen and arranged them into the pattern of a flower. We can make food, tools, medicine, or building materials the same way. Dr. Velnox was so excited she was waving all 6 arms. This is impossible. How do you control individual atoms so precisely? It took us 50 years to learn how, Dr. Kyung-ho said. But once we understood quantum mechanics completely, we found ways to manipulate matter at the smallest level. Engineer Min Ji stepped forward. We use this technology to build everything on our ships. We never run out of materials because we can always make what we need from basic elements. Ambassador Chan Wu asked the question that everyone was thinking. If you can create anything you need, why do you travel to other worlds? What do you want from us? Admiral Haye Jin looked around the room at all the different species. We want the most valuable thing in the universe, she said. Knowledge. Every species thinks differently. Every world has different solutions to problems. By talking to you, we learn new ways to understand the universe. She paused, then added, and friendship. We have been alone for so long. Finding all of you is like discovering that we have a huge family we never knew existed. Dr. Sujin, the medical doctor, spoke for the first time. We also want to help. On Earth, we have cured most diseases. We have learned to heal injuries quickly and help people live longer, healthier lives. If other species have medical problems, we would like to share our knowledge. This caused a stir in the room. Many species in the council still struggled with diseases and health problems. The offer of human medical help was very valuable. What do you want in return? Asked Ambassador Ralten, a being who looked like a tall plant with moving branches. Nothing, Dr. Sujin said simply. Helping others makes us happy. That is payment enough. General Tormek stood up. He looked angry. Nothing is free. Everyone wants something. What is your real purpose here? Captain Dong-Su answered calmly. Our purpose is to explore, learn, and help where we can. We understand your suspicion. Most species probably approach others with hidden goals, but humans learned something important. When you help others without expecting payment, you usually get help back when you need it. But you must have enemies, General Tormek insisted. All species have conflicts. What do you do when someone attacks you? Admiral Haye Jin looked sad. We have met 3 aggressive species during our travels. Each time we tried to talk first. When they attacked our ships, we used our defensive systems to protect our people. But we never attacked back. What happened to these aggressive species? Asked Dr. Velnox. The first one stopped attacking when they realized they could not hurt our ships, Captain Dong-Su said. We then helped them solve the resource problems that were making them aggressive. They are now our friends. The second species was suffering from a disease that made them violent, Dr. Sujin added. We helped cure their people. They were very grateful and peaceful once they were healthy. And the third? Admiral Sora asked. Admiral Hyojin sighed. They refused all our attempts to help or communicate. They kept attacking our ships and other peaceful species. So we surrounded their star system with a barrier that prevents them from leaving. They cannot hurt anyone else, but they are safe inside their own space. The room became very quiet. The idea of trapping an entire species in their own star system was shocking, but also incredibly advanced. How much power did humans have if they could do such things? You trapped a whole species? General Tormek asked. How is that possible? Dr. Kyung-ho answered. We built a network of satellites around their star system. The satellites create an energy field that blocks all space travel. Ships cannot enter or leave, but the field does not harm anyone inside. How many ships did this require? Admiral Sora asked. No ships, Dr. Kyung-ho said. The satellites are very small, about the size of your hand. We sent them through folded space. The aggressive species never even saw them. The council members looked at each other with worry and amazement. Humans could trap entire civilizations without using a single warship. What else could they do? Engineer Minji seemed to understand their concern. We know this sounds frightening, she said. Having so much power could make us dangerous. But we have learned that power means responsibility. The more we can do, the more careful we must be. We have rules that all humans follow, Admiral Hyojin added. We never use our technology to hurt innocent people. We never take things that belong to others. We never force our beliefs on other species. We only use our power to protect and help. Ambassador Chanwu asked, how do you make sure all humans follow these rules? What if some humans want to use your technology for bad purposes? Dr. Sujin answered this question. On Earth, we have no poverty, no hunger, and no serious diseases. People live in beautiful places with everything they need. When people are happy and healthy, they rarely want to hurt others. Also, Admiral Hyojin added, every human child learns from a young age that helping others is the most important thing in life. We teach cooperation instead of competition. We celebrate scientists and teachers more than warriors. Dr. Kyung-ho pulled out another device. This contains all the scientific knowledge humans have gathered, he said. Star maps, medical information, engineering techniques, and much more. We want to give this to the Council as a gift. He placed the device on the table. Everything we know about peaceful technology is in here. We hope it will help all species in the Council live better lives. The room erupted in excited voices. Species that had struggled with problems for centuries might find solutions in human knowledge. But some Council members were worried. Why? Do you give this freely? Asked Ambassador Kolran. This knowledge must be very valuable. Admiral Hyojin smiled. Knowledge becomes more valuable when it is shared, not less valuable. When we teach someone something new, we still know what we taught them. But now 2 people know instead of 1. And, Dr. Kyung-ho added, when we share our knowledge, other species might discover new things that we can learn from them. Everyone becomes smarter when everyone shares. General Seok-jin paced back and forth in his private office on Harmony's Edge. The walls were covered with pictures of famous battles and powerful weapons. He had spent his whole life preparing for war, and now these humans claimed they had no weapons at all. It makes no sense, he said to his aide, Colonel Jae-sung. No species becomes powerful without learning to fight. These humans must be hiding something. Colonel Jae-sung looked at the reports on his tablet. Sir, our intelligence teams have studied their ship for weeks. They really don't seem to have any attack weapons. Just those defensive shields they showed us. Impossible, Seok-jin said. They must be testing us. They want to see if we are weak before they attack. He stopped pacing and looked out the window at the stars. I think they are planning to conquer the galaxy, but they want us to lower our guard first. What should we do, sir? Jae-sung asked. Seok-jin turned around with a cold smile. We are going to test them. I want to see what happens when someone attacks their ships. Then we will know their true nature. Sir, Admiral Sora has ordered that no one should threaten the humans. The Council voted to welcome them peacefully. The Council is being foolish, Seok-jin said. They believe these humans because they want to believe them. But I have fought in real wars. I know that anyone with power will use it when they are threatened. He walked to his desk and pulled out a secure communication device. I am going to arrange a small test. Nothing that will start a real war. Just enough to see how these humans really behave when they are attacked. 3 days later, a small human ship was traveling through space near the edge of Council territory. Captain Yuri was commanding the vessel, which carried 30 families who were traveling to visit a new planet the humans had found. The ship was beautiful, with large windows so the families could look out at the stars. Children played in the corridors while their parents worked or relaxed in comfortable rooms. It was more like a flying hotel than a spaceship. Captain Yuri was on the bridge, checking their route, when her officer, Lieutenant Tai Min, called out, in alarm. Captain, I'm detecting 6 unknown ships approaching fast. They're small, but they have weapons pointed at us. Yuri looked at the screen. The ships were clearly military vessels, but they didn't match any design in the human database of Council species. Try to contact them, she ordered. Ask them to identify themselves. Tai-Min sent messages in every language they knew, but the attacking ships did not respond. Instead, they fired energy weapons at the human ship. The weapons hit the human ship's shields and bounced off harmlessly. The defensive field that surrounded the ship glowed blue as it absorbed the energy and sent it safely into space. Captain, they're attacking us, Tai-Min said. Should I prepare our defensive systems for a stronger attack? Yes, but remember our rules, Yuri said calmly. We protect ourselves, but we do not harm others. The attacking ships fired again, this time with stronger weapons. Still, the human shields held easily. The ship didn't even shake from the impact. Inside the ship, the families felt nothing. The children kept playing. The adults continued their daily activities. Most of them didn't even know they were being attacked. Captain, Tai-Min said, I'm scanning the attacking ships. They appear to be robotic drones, not crewed vessels, and their energy signatures match Council technology. Yuri was surprised. Council technology? But why would the Council attack us? I don't know, Captain. But since they're drones, no living beings will be hurt if we disable them. Good, Yuri said. Use the containment field to stop them safely. The human ship activated a new type of defensive system. Instead of shields that just blocked attacks, they created an energy field around the attacking drones. The field didn't destroy the drones or hurt them. It simply held them perfectly still in space. The 6 attacking ships stopped moving completely. They couldn't fire their weapons or move their engines. They just floated in space like toys frozen. In ice. Are they damaged? Yuri asked. Tai-Min checked his instruments. No, Captain. They're completely undamaged. Their power systems are working fine. They just can't move because our containment field is holding them still. Good. Now let's find out who sent them. Yuri activated the ship's communication system and sent a message to Admiral Sora on Harmony's Edge. Admiral, this is Captain Yuri of the human vessel Peaceful Journey. We have been attacked by 6 robotic drones that appear to use Council technology. We have stopped the attack without harming the drones. We request assistance in determining who sent them. The message traveled through space and reached Harmony's Edge in a few minutes. Admiral Sora was in a meeting when she received it. She immediately called an emergency session of the Council. When the Council members heard what had happened, there was chaos in the meeting room. Everyone was talking at once in different languages. Some were angry that someone had attacked the humans. Others were worried about what the humans had done to stop the attack. Who ordered this attack? Admiral Sora demanded. I want to know immediately. General Tormek, the lizard-like military leader, was studying the data from the attack. The drones were launched from Sector 7, he said. That's General Seok Jin's area of responsibility. All eyes turned to the section where Seok Jin usually sat, but his chair was empty. Where is General Seok Jin? Sora asked. Colonel Jae-sung stood up nervously. Admiral, General Seok Jin is not available at the moment. Find him, Sora ordered. Bring him here immediately. While they searched for Seok Jin, more news came from Captain Yuri's ship. The humans had rescued the pilots of the attacking drones and brought them aboard their ship. Wait, Dr. Velnox said, confused. The drones had pilots? I thought they were robotic. Admiral Sora contacted Captain Yuri directly. Captain, our intelligence said the attacking ships were drones with no crew. How did you rescue pilots? Yuri's voice came through the speakers clearly. Admiral, When we scanned the ships more carefully, we found living beings inside. They were unconscious, probably from some kind of drug. We transported them to our medical bay to help them. What condition are they in? Sora asked. Dr. Minho is examining them now, Yuri said. They appear to be from the Corvan species. They are healthy, but confused. They don't remember how they got into the ships or why they attacked us? Dr. Velnox gasped. The Corvan are a peaceful species. They would never attack anyone willingly. Someone must have forced them to do this. At that moment, the doors to the council chamber opened. Two security officers brought General Siok Jin into the room. He looked angry and defiant. General Siok Jin, Admiral Sora said in a cold voice. Did you order an attack on the human ship? Siok Jin lifted his chin proudly. Yes, I did. These humans claim to be peaceful, but I wanted to see their true nature. Now we know what they really are. What do you mean? Sora asked. They have weapons more powerful than anything we've ever seen, Siok Jin said. They stopped 6 military drones without even trying. They could destroy our entire fleet if they wanted to. Ambassador Chan Wu stood up. General, the humans didn't destroy anything. They stopped the attack without harming anyone. They even rescued the pilots you put in danger. That's exactly what makes them so dangerous, Siok Jin argued. They're so powerful that they can afford to look peaceful. But when they decide to conquer us, we won't be able to stop them. Admiral Sora was very angry. General, you violated direct orders from the Council. You attacked beings who came here in peace. You put innocent Corvan pilots in danger. And you did all this without permission. I did it to protect the galaxy, Siok Jin said. Someone had to test these humans. Now we know they have incredible military power. At that moment, a new message came from Captain Yuri. Admiral Sora, this is Captain Yuri. Our medical team has finished examining the Corvan pilots. They were drugged with a chemical that made them follow orders without thinking. Dr. Minho has given them medicine to clear their minds. What do the pilots say? Sora asked. They say a person who looked like General Siok Jin told them this was a training exercise. They thought they were attacking target drones, not a ship with families aboard. They are very upset when they learned what really happened. General Tormek looked at Siok Jin with disgust. You lied to innocent pilots and put them in danger. For your test? Before Siok Jin could answer, another voice came through the communication system. It was a human voice, but not Captain Yuri. Admiral Sora, this is Dr. Minho from the human medical ship. I would like to speak with your council if possible. Of course, Doctor. Please go ahead. I have been treating the Corvan pilots who were used in this attack. They are good people who were tricked into doing something they would never do willingly. But I want to tell you something more important. Dr. Minho paused, then continued. When Captain Yuri told me that these pilots had been forced to attack us, I was not angry. I was sad. Sad that someone thought the only way to test humans was through violence. What do you mean, Doctor? Ambassador Chan Wu asked. In human culture, we have a saying. The best way to judge someone's character is to see how they treat those who can do nothing for them. You wanted to test our character, but you did it by putting innocent people in danger. Dr. Minho's voice became stronger. 6 months had passed since the humans first arrived at Harmony's Edge. The galaxy was changing in ways no one had imagined possible. Admiral Inho stood on the observation deck of the newest ship in space, watching as workers from 12 different species worked together to finish its construction. The ship was called Unity, and it was like nothing that had ever been built before. It used human technology for its hull and engines, but it was designed by the best engineers from all the council species. Beings who had never worked together before were now sharing their knowledge to create something amazing. It's beautiful, said Captain Yun Seo, who would command the Unity when it was finished. She was human, but her crew would include members from 20 different species. I never imagined that so many different kinds of people could work together so well. Next, to them stood Dr. Gite, a human scientist who had been working with Dr. Velnox and other council researchers. The most amazing discoveries happen when different minds work on the same problem, he said. Every species thinks differently, so every species sees solutions that others miss. Through the large windows, they could see human Colossus-Class, ships working alongside council vessels. The huge human ships no longer seemed strange or frightening. They had become symbols of hope and cooperation throughout the galaxy. On one of the human ships, engineer Su Young was teaching a group of young aliens how to use quantum matter assemblers. The students came from 8 different worlds, but they all learned together with excitement and wonder. "Remember," Su Young said, as a young Kronar with scaly skin successfully created his first flower, "this technology is not just about making things. It's about understanding how the universe works at the smallest level. When you understand atoms and energy, you can solve almost any problem." A student who looked like a tall bird with bright feathers raised her wing. "Teacher Su Young, on my world, we have a sickness that makes our eggs not hatch properly. Could this technology help fix that?" "Possibly," Su Young said with a smile. "Medical problems are often chemistry problems. If we can understand exactly what is going wrong with the eggs, we might be able to fix it. Would you like to study this problem together?" The young bird student made happy chirping sounds. For the first time in generations, her people might find a solution to a problem that had caused much sadness on her world. Meanwhile, in the medical bay of Harmony's Edge, Dr. Su Jin was working with doctors from 15 different species. They were sharing medical knowledge and developing new treatments that could help everyone. "The humans have shown us something incredible," said Dr. Colven, a 4-armed surgeon from the Deltaran species. "They have treatments for diseases we thought were impossible to cure. But more than that, they have shown us new ways to think about healing." Dr. Sujin was examining a patient from a species that breathed methane instead of oxygen. "Every species is different," she said, "but the basic principles of life are the same everywhere. When we understand how life works, we can help any form of life stay healthy." The patient, who communicated through color changes in his skin, flashed patterns of gratitude. The treatment Dr. Su Jin had developed was healing an injury that his own doctors had said was permanent. In the main council chamber, a historic meeting was taking place. For the first time, a human was being voted into the council as a full member. Sung Ho, who had been chosen by both humans and council species to represent the new partnership, stood before the assembly. "Friends," he said, "I am honored to join this council. But I do not come here to represent only humans. I come here to represent the idea that all intelligent species can work together for the good of everyone." Admiral Sora, who had become a close friend to the humans over the past months, smiled as she watched the vote. Every species voted to accept Sung Ho as a council member. Even some of the species who had been suspicious of humans at first now supported the partnership. "The vote is unanimous," Sora announced. "Welcome to the Galactic Council, Representative Sung Ho." The chamber filled with sounds of celebration from 48 different species. For the first time in the galaxy's history, a new member had been accepted not because they were powerful or threatening, but because they had shown wisdom and kindness. After the ceremony, Representative Sung Ho gave his first official speech to the council. "My fellow representatives," he began, "humans have learned that the most important question is not how powerful can we become, but how can we use our power to help others. Today, I want to propose something that has never been tried before. In this galaxy," he gestured, and a holographic image appeared above the table. It showed a map of the galaxy with thousands of stars marked in different colors. "This map shows all the worlds we know about in our galaxy. The blue dots are worlds where council species live. The green dots are worlds where humans have colonies. But look at all the yellow dots. There were far more yellow dots than blue or green ones. These are worlds where we have detected signs of intelligent life, but no one has made contact yet. Some of these species might be more advanced than us. Others might be just beginning to explore space, and some might be in trouble and need help." He paused to let this information sink in. "I propose that we create a new kind of mission, not to conquer or control these species, but to offer friendship and help. We could share medical knowledge with species that are suffering from diseases. We could teach clean energy technology to species that are damaging their worlds. We could offer protection to species that are threatened by natural disasters." Ambassador Chan Wu, who had become the humans' first friend in the council, stood up. "This is a wonderful idea, but it would require enormous resources. How would we organize such a massive undertaking?" Representative Sung Ho smiled. Humans have already begun this work on a small scale. Our exploration ships have made contact with 6 new species in the past year. Each time we offered help before asking for anything in return. And each time we made new friends who are now helping other species they encounter. He touched a control, and the holographic map changed. Now it showed lines connecting different worlds, like a vast network spreading across the galaxy. Kindness spreads, Sung-Ho explained. When you help someone, they often want to help others. When species learn to cooperate instead of compete, everyone becomes stronger and happier. Dr. Velnox raised 2 of her 6 arms. But what about species that don't want our help? What about aggressive species like the ones humans have encountered? We have learned to deal with aggressive species without becoming aggressive ourselves, Sung-Ho said. We offer help first. If they attack, we protect ourselves without harming them. If they continue to be dangerous to others, we find ways to limit their ability to cause harm. But we never give up trying to understand why they are aggressive and how we might help them become peaceful. Captain Yunseo, who had been watching from the gallery, spoke up. Representative Sung-Ho, the Unity will be ready for its first mission in 2 weeks. If the Council approves this new exploration program, we would be honored to make the first contact mission. Admiral Sora looked around the chamber. She could see excitement and hope in the faces of representatives from all the different species. All in favor of this new galactic outreach program? She asked. Every representative raised their hand, wing, tentacle, or other appendage in approval. The vote was unanimous again. As the meeting ended, species that had been enemies for centuries shook hands or made their traditional greeting gestures. The galaxy was entering a new age of cooperation that no one had thought possible. Later that evening, Representative Sung-Ho stood on the observation deck of Harmony's Edge, looking out. At the stars, Admiral Sora joined him there. Are you worried about the future? She asked. Sung-Ho shook his head. No, I'm excited about it. For the first time in galactic history, we're not just trying to survive or compete with each other. We're trying to help everyone thrive. He pointed to a distant star. Somewhere out there might be a species struggling with problems we know how to solve. There might be brilliant minds with ideas that could help all of us live better lives. There might be beautiful cultures with art and music and stories we've never imagined. And there might be dangerous species that want to hurt others, Sora pointed out. Yes, Sung-Ho agreed. But we've learned that most aggression comes from fear, pain, or need. When you help species solve their real problems, they usually stop being aggressive. He turned to look at the space station where representatives from 48 species were learning to work together. Humans made many mistakes when we were young, he said. We fought wars, damaged our environment, and almost destroyed ourselves. But we learned that cooperation is stronger than competition, that helping others helps yourself, and that the universe is big enough for everyone to prosper. Sora nodded. And now you're teaching these lessons to the entire galaxy. We're not teaching, Sung-Ho corrected gently. We're sharing. Every species has wisdom to offer. Humans just happen to learn certain lessons earlier than others. Now we can all learn from each other. A new light appeared in the sky above them. It was the Unity beginning its first test flight.